Sauber's stake-backed Formula One team introduced the C44 car, which looks different than its predecessor, at the launch on Monday. At the top of this list is a big change at the front of the car, as this year it features a pull-rod suspension setup instead of a push-rod system. Both Red Bull and McLaren made this change 2 years ago at the beginning of this rules cycle, so it's not groundbreaking by any means. But given the confusion required to make the change, it does show there is a tangible benefit to having the layout. Repackaging the internal suspension members will result in their weight being placed lower in the chassis, making life a little more difficult in terms of making setup changes. However, as always, aerodynamic advantages probably paved the way for the change to be made. The biggest change is actually in the roll bar and air intake arrangement, as the team has completely overhauled the design compared to its last 8 machines. 6 of these vehicles featured a blade-style roll bar design with a segmented airbox around the spine. E41 used a triangular roll bar and a hood behind the main assembly. It is clear that this change has contributed to the changes made to the regulations for 2024 and is a result of the continuous improvements made by the FIA to improve safety. These changes were made in light of an incident involving Zhou Guanyu at the British Grand Prix in 2022, where his roll bar was damaged after his car rolled over. Sauber had already switched to a downward ramp-style side pod solution for 2023, but has upped the ante for this season, optimizing not only the shape of the bodywork, but also a feature that will no doubt be seen up and down the pit lane this season, appearing on the RB18 before being further developed. Also included the feature. In this case, a long lip appeared for the lower leading edge of the side pod inlet that narrowed towards the shoulder, creating a wide but shallow inlet. This also changed the profile of the undercut, providing much more space under the inlet that could be shaped to optimize the airflow trajectory. It opened new avenues of development for both the entrance and the ground next to it. The upper surface of the side pod has also become the focus of attention of the team. The side pod shoulder was extended across the entire wing, creating a thin groove that will transmit the airflow to the rear of the vehicle and the cola bottle area. A rack-like shoulder, similar to the one used on the bonnet fairing at the end of last season, is used to help divide flow passage to the upper part of the vehicle, while the rear cooling outlet remains angled downwards. The side wing looks different from the features the team used to close out last season, as the front section now features the swept profile divided by 3 slats, variants of which we've seen on rival cars throughout 2023. Turning to the front of the vehicle, the C44 has a nose and front wing arrangement similar to the one developed throughout 2023. However, one small detail found in the renders that is not present on the car, presented in the studio, is a crooked finger-like flap on the lower rear quarter of the side plate, protruding from where a cutout was previously located. This is similar in some ways to the winglets that Mercedes, Haas, Red Bull and Ferrari installed in this position last season, but its geometry is better suited to its environment. In each of these cases, these fins are permitted due to their location within the volumes specified by the regulations, but their presence was not intended, as they would undoubtedly work with other surfaces at the edge plate and wing junction to improve the external wash produced by the fin. The rear wing has also been largely carried over from last year's car at this stage. The end plate crease line that the team introduced at the Qatar Grand Prix last season is also present in this design.